Okay, so in this session we will learn few breathing techniques and a little bit of the yogic philosophy, really some of these beautiful ideas that we have in yoga, which is more or less really about our attitude, our mindset, and then developing, I guess, a much more bigger perspective about life and situations. And just to begin, really, I must tell you all, the care work that you all are doing is one of the truly amazing work. And I also know that, people like you all, there is not maybe as much as appreciation that you might like to be. And here, we just need to really remind ourselves that, some people we look after, some people we care for, or people who work in care industry. Back in India, I did a little bit of work, and I also looked after my grandmother for quite a while when she was elderly with my parents. And when people are in that place where they haven't got that control or the ability to actually rationalize things, and in some ways that's where they are. So they don't really. It's not that they don't appreciate what we do, but maybe they just don't have the ability to process forward, to come back and say, look, I'm really grateful for what you're doing for me. So to begin with, the first sort of idea for me to really remind you all that this amazing work of looking after, caring for somebody, learn to develop this amazing attitude in your own heart that you are doing amazing, and learn to appreciate it deep from your own heart and feel the love, feel the healing that comes from it. And when you sort of start thinking like that way, then to me the next step can be seen as letting go of our expectations of what I get back from it. And in that way, the love that you are getting back, or maybe you're receiving, that maybe does not really have the language that can be put out by somebody. But it's just moving out of that idea of expectation can really ease so much of our heart. As in yoga, we have this beautiful concept of that our mind has these 5 states of suffering with different issues. Now the first, so we say the root cause of the mental suffering in our life is known as one of the klesha, which is avidya. So avidya translates as a lack of knowledge or lack of ignorance. So when people have that lack of knowledge or understanding or appreciation or that inner confidence in themselves, it's very hard to see the light. It's very hard to see the bliss that is there. It's very hard to see, what somebody offering us, what somebody doing for us. Now, literally translates as the knowing that the deep within all of us, you, me, everyone that exists, that the heart, the spirit we talk about, the soul or the living being that is there is always eternal. That actually has nothing to do with the stress or the problems or ups and downs, pain, happiness, joy, suffering. Think of that as just a light is there, a bliss is there, a flame is there. So it's worth to actually, whenever you get a bit of chance, to remind yourself that deep within your heart there is this abundance of the bliss or the joy, the spirit that is there, and that spirit is also in each and everyone. So connecting with that core of your existence, your spirit, will bring this sense of abundance, or bring this sense of, I guess, this amazing energy that you need. And that really, to me, brings us back to also when you're looking after, caring for other people, also you must learn to look after or care for yourself. And it's not actually being selfish. When you call yourself, okay, I'm going to have 10 minutes, half an hour to do a bit of my exercise, do a bit of deep breathing, or I'm just going to have a bit of relaxation. there is literally nothing wrong in that, and it's not that you are being selfish. As you know, whenever you get a flight, and on the flight, in the people, the flight crew, on the very beginning, they do all these announcements and say, if we lose the air pressure, then the thing will drop down, and you put it on your nose and breathe. And they literally tell us that the first you should take the full breath for yourself before you try to help somebody else. So that's actually not being selfish, because if you are comfortable, you have taken a deep breath, you are not going to panic in helping somebody else. So it is quite important that we do look after or nurture our own body, our mind, our soul. Now, for the body, I guess the key thing really is to eat healthy food. Eat the food that your body can digest. Eat the food that you enjoy, that gives you a sense of nourishment, a sense of nurturing. The second practice, to me, I'm not going to go in detail of the food itself, because Helen will be talking a bit more. But still, to me, it's a really simple way to look at: do your own self-study, your swadhyaya, introspection, and make a list of food. When you eat, you just feel so light, lifted, full of energy and vitality, the nourishment you get from it. And there are food that we eat and we just feel heavy, down, dull, stiff, toxic, all sorts of issues that follow with it. So eat a healthy and nutritional meal to keep your own energy level up. Please, please, please make sure that you don't avoid your meals. If nothing, grab a couple of fruits or something, but feed yourself well, so you can feed the people you care for. The second point to me is drinking plenty of water. Because as you know, even the medical science now, the doctors are saying that the 60 to 70% people, that's a huge number, 60 to 70% people now are clinically dehydrated. They're not drinking enough water. So get yourself a bit of more reminder continuously to drink more and more water. Now I guess you can count your herbal teas and all those drinks in, but in a yogic way, or when I study the Ayurveda and even the medical perspective, if you are one of those people like me who likes coffee and tea, then we need to drink even a little bit more water. Because the coffee and tea, they both are diuretic, so we lose so much water to even release or to get rid of the toxins, that is sort of the caffeine and all that comes with it. I'm not saying that you should not drink your coffee, okay, that's fine, because I love it too. I can't really say not to drink it. I do love my coffee and what we call the builders, the British tea. But drinking water. And if nothing else, what it really does, if you think about having a cup of tea or having a glass of water or a glass of juice, it buys you, if not more, at least a minute to step away from the situation. So which leads us, after sort of reminding of the drinking water and eating food, that takes you to the third step, which to me is one of the amazing practice. If you can do as and when you need, create a little gap between the stimulus and your action. Don't react to things, don't jump into things instantly. Give yourself a bit of time, buy yourself a bit of time. Now in a yogic way, we say that our fight and flight response, it actually comes from our animal or the reptilian brain. So think of, we have all been through experiencing life in every species, every life form, and we are carrying that wisdom, that experience with us. And same with the medical science says, our spinal memory is much older, our reptilian memory or the lower part of the brain is much older than the cortex part of the brain. So now this fight and flight is actually such an amazing mechanism that exists in our body for the sake of survival. So if you just having a good rest and suddenly your hand goes near the fire, a candle or a lamp is there. Without even you analyzing, thinking about it, your hand jumps away, throws itself away from it. That is the fight and flight response. Similarly, if you suddenly a wild animal or something running towards you, your instant action, the first response that comes from the spinal or our reptilian brain. Now the problem in our modern time we have, because we live in such a stressful time and stressful energy, and our education system, our modern system also doesn't really help. Because if you say, like, if someone asks you something, you've gone for an interview, and if you don't answer it there and then, people are like, oh, you don't know anything, you haven't got great memory, you haven't got. So there is the psychological, there is the social, educational pressure that builds on all of us, that the answers need to be instantly. So we tend to get more used to using the spinal response, the quick response, than using our brain or the cortex response. So whenever we get a stimulus, whenever we get into the situation, we tend to jump into the reaction for it. Now what yoga says, to enjoy the sense of joy or the sense of happiness in life, we must learn to create a little gap between the stimulus and your reaction. So then it becomes your action. And when it becomes your action, even if you tell somebody off, you would not feel guilty about it, because sometimes you have to tell people, look, you're not doing it right. If someone trying to take advantage of you, someone trying to abuse your work or your situation, then you have the right to stand firm and lift your shoulders up and make your face look a bit upset and angry and say, I am not accepting it. So that becomes your action, while reaction is just the burst of the anger or the burst of the repulsive emotion that comes out. So the yogic practice says we need to learn to create a little gap between the stimulus, the situation, and our action. So if you can create a gap, now scientifically we say our spinal response can come within a very fraction, up to the 1/10 to 1/16 of the second. And I'm glad that we do have it, because if we don't have it, think of yourself driving a car on the road. That quick response of slowing down, speeding up, braking, not braking, indicating, it's the constant analysis that coming from the fight and flight. Because if you miss 10 seconds or even a second on the road, not responding to something, you will end up in disaster. So it's not actually wrong to have this amazing response that we have, but in life situations we want to enhance this ability to use our cortex or human response instead of the animal response to things. So he says that between the 1/10 of the second, your spine does its fight and flight response, and then it goes to the brain. That's the second part, and your brain analyzes it. Now the analysis of the brain can take from a couple of seconds to a couple of days, couple of months, or couple of years. And I'm sure if you reflect into life, some things, after a year or something, you realize, oh, now I know the answer, or now I know what I did wrong, or now I know what did I do right that has got me here. Because it is analyzing, you see, the millions and millions of memories that you have stored in your brain, all that you carry. Now, sometimes it comes up instantly, sometimes it takes a bit of time. So to me, if you can create a little gap, a little space between your stimulus, a situation, and your action, it gives you the time to analyze. And a truly amazing sort of idea in yoga we think of, or the yogic philosophy, the yogic lifestyle gives us, If there is a conflict, there is an issue that is going on in your life, if you are trying to sort it out, you're trying to deal with it in your own self, well, there is only one mind that need healing, that need therapy, that needs some solution. If you let it out to two people, then you have to heal two people. If you have put it out on Facebook and let everybody know, you will have to heal all those people who got involved in it. Now, it might sound a bit confusing. You think like, how does that work? But let's take a really simple example. Let's say I had a little bit of argument with my wife. Straight after that, I went to talk to 10 of my good friends, and I also put it out on Facebook. Well, after an hour or a couple of hours or half of the day, either I realized or my wife realizes that that was just a stupid mistake. We just misunderstood something, and we bring a bit of bunch of flower or something nice back to each other. The problem is gone. But actually the problem is not gone, because what happens next when I'm going to see those people, or my wife is going to see those people who we have let it out with. They are going to keep coming back to us and remind us what happened to that argument. And then our ego, our pride, all that takes over, because we want to prove ourselves something greater than everybody else. So creating a bit of gap, it gives you more time, more understanding to see how you can really respond to this stress or this situation. And then the fifth one to me is do something about it. Take the right action, take the right initiative. Don't let things just cook in yourself. Don't let your mind to be burned. As in yoga we say the chinta, what we call the worrying or muddling into things is like you putting yourself on a slow or a very gentle fire. You know, when you do a fire in your garden and you got lots of brambles, grass and everything on top of it, and underneath it's burning, but on the top all we see is the big smoke. So they say that this inner worry, inner fear, or this inner conflict we live in is like you letting yourself gently burn under that smoke. So no one even sees that you are constantly burning yourself, or you're destroying, damaging your health and well-being. So to me, finding an appropriate help, either a counselor or something who holds you very dear, who can respect you, who can protect your ideas and your sort of what we call the safety, and who can safeguard you. It can be somebody from family, it can be a friend who you know that they are trustworthy and they can help you to not only see the light, but they can help you to have a little bit of what we call the catharsis. Someone can listen it. Now to me, for the catharsis, the practice I love advising people when you are in a stressful situation, the first thing I like to do, get a pen and paper, write it down, and then tear it all off and then chuck it in the fire, and I see it burning. And honestly, for a moment you just feel like, oh, nice, I have done something about it. I have let it go. I have burned it out. The second practice I love to do, some of you might think, now come on Jnandev, you are talking us to go a bit mad, but honestly, anything that helps is not going mad. Get yourself a little stone or a pebble or a statue or some kind of bead, or it can be anything. It can be anything that you can place in front of you. Even it can be, you can sit in front of the mirror to talk to yourself and let all your feelings, what is going on in your mind, to be expressed out to that non-observing, non-listening aspect. That even though you are letting it go, you are getting it all out instead of let it be suppressed. but you're getting it out to something that is not going to fall back on you. And I can tell you all, it does really work for me. And now and then what I do, once I get into the car and I'm driving somewhere, I actually talk to myself while I'm driving. But it's finding the way to let things out instead of hiding, suppressing them. And then to me, the third step really is to go out and seek a support, which can be a friend, a teacher, or a counselor, as I mentioned, someone who can take it from you without judging you or without sort of without abusing you for it. Because some people can also like, oh, I know your weakness, and they can take advantage of it. So it's also finding somebody who is very impartial, very non-judgmental and respectful. Now, to me, the fourth practice really is to take the next step of letting it go. Now, to me, the letting go can be a regular meditation practice, a regular pranayama practice. Go for a nice, comfortable walk. Do something that helps you to remove that stagnant energy, that stagnant feeling that you're being caught into. Now, amazing to me, something I really love about yoga is it doesn't really give you a fixed practice like do this to make yourself reset. Do the one thing that works for you. He said, when you caught into the negative mindset, the feelings, stress, or the down part of the life, do one thing that brings you out into the life, into the light. Now that can be, or go for a drink, go for a coffee and cake, or have a bath, have a shower, a walk. For some of us can be exercise. For others can be go and see some friends. But whatever works for you, do that. Don't let yourself get more deep into that muddle or into that stressful energy. Now, with the breathing wise, one of the practice, I've done lots and lots of research, and it seems to really work for people who are into the care work and dealing with people with lots of stress and these conflicts. As you know, to me, because we hold our heart so high, so much love and abundance there, so we tend to take too much on, and it becomes very personal. So what I do, there is a very simple breathing in yoga, which we did a bit in Hatha Yoga in our practice on chair yoga too. But if I can breathe through the nose and I do a very subtle, a very gentle breath through the mouth, you can sort of almost think of making a bit of whistle, like hope you all can hear me. Now, if you think in day-to-day life, you know, when you're meeting with somebody who is constantly annoying you, and if you get a moment, if the person leave you for a minute, the minute they walk away, the first thing we naturally feel doing is like, ah. So the expression of, I had enough and I need to let it go, let it out of my chest. So let's do it a few times. So sit straight if you can really be comfortable. So we'll be breathing in through the nose, and the couple of different sounds we can make. So let's just do the simple sigh to begin with. In through the nose, like, just open your mouth and breathe out. Again, breathe in and out. Just try to make a bit of peak of your mouth and see if you can do almost like if you're trying to whistle the breath out, in through the nose. Again, in and out. Now, the third level of breathing, to me, when I'm really feeling stagnant about something, actually make a bit of sound like ah. So really having a bit of that ra and the sigh sound. So if you like to join me, breathe in through the nose This time try to sink down a little bit. So sort of like, the letting go. In our old time, when I think of my grandmother or my grandparents, they used to have this ability actually, when there is something not nice, they will easily be able to do it like just getting the head down to the knees. While like in modern time, it seems to making it more of a pride that I have to always be like this. It's a big thing, isn't it? Like we can't let ourselves relax. So this idea is to actually giving up, giving in to let go. So either I can do it like just this, or I can bring my knees to the front. So what I do, I just breathe in here, and then I do like this. I breathe in and sit back up, and I let go. So just using a bit of this sighing the breath out to really empty your heart, your chest from that stagnant energy. Now, if you feel that's still not working, then to me another really powerful practice is actually, we call it the tapping breath. So I use my fingertips and then I start to just tap it around wherever I feel the tension. And when I'm tapping my fingers, I want to be breathing out with a sigh breath. So the tapping and so shall we all do it together? So we'll begin the whole body. So let's begin with the top of the head. If you would like to join me, just tapping around your head, and then you start to follow your sigh breathing. Going all around your head, you're coming around your face, your forehead. Coming down to your chest, you can use a bit of your tapping of your palms. Keep breathing out. And then down to your abdominal area, your belly, and then your legs, to your back, your buttocks. And then you come back to the point where you really feel that you got lots of tension being held. Now, to me, when I'm working with people, you see this upper chest area seems to really get so much tension. Even we forget to breathe into this area, we tend to like, we catch that breath. And if you can sort of tap that tension out, you start to feel that you can really breathe deep into this upper chest. So a bit of fun tapping to really tap all the tension or all the stress, this stagnant energy out. It's something I believe we don't need to hold on to. Okay, and then just giving it a good shake to your hands. And with the shaking of hand, if you can find somewhere your own space, and I tend to really like doing this sound breath, and so I do like take a deep in breath and I just make the sound and shake my head and hands like it's really like a strong cleanse of the negative or the stagnant energy you don't need to hold on to. This is finding the way to relax. So let's just have a moment to really relax and breathe into our own body, into our own head, just to really see how you're feeling, the energy that you experience, prana that comes with it, the vital energy. Okay, that takes us a little further, if you don't mind me talking. Or let's have a couple of minutes. Maybe if anyone of you like to ask or add or share something, please. And then I'll take you a little further into these ideas. No, you all happy to just listen me? It's nice for me to hear back if you all like to talk anything. I hope you all enjoying it. You all seems to be a bit like, well relaxed. Okay, let's keep going now. To me, the next sort of idea that yoga really teaches us is this idea of what we call the mudita, or the sense of cheerfulness. So to me, in our life, when we're looking around, out and about with people, most of the time we really see what we want to see, not what we need to see. So to me, when we got into a negative mindset, a stressed mindset, everything seems to look upside down. And it's something, I can remember many times from my own life, when I'm feeling really great and happy and amazing about everything in my life. And if I'm doing something silly and someone comes from behind and say like, that's very stupid. So someone actually telling me something to stop doing, but in a not in a very nice way. And I can tell you, in that moment I will say, oh, that's very nice of, very kind of you. Thank you very much for telling me that I'm doing something wrong. But when I'm caught into the wrong mindset, a down spiral of the negative energy, even if someone comes from behind and say, hey, you're looking really amazing, look at you, you're looking amazing. First thing I will think, why did you say that? What do you want from me? What is wrong with me? I would love to look at myself in the mirror to find out that why somebody is making fun of me. So it's, to me, this concept of mudita, the cheerfulness or the joyfulness, wherever you are in life, look for things that you are grateful for, things that you are so happy about, things that really lift you up. Instead of being caught into what is not there or what you're not getting. This is quite interesting, this whole idea of fault finding the fault in something. What are we not doing right? What is not right? What is not good? And I have actually known many people, which I feel very sad about, how we possess even the problems. Many people will come out and say, my blood pressure, my depression. It seems to be almost like they got a big car or they got a big house and they want to tell you that, or you ask somebody, when you meet with them, say, hi, how are you today? What is that first response that comes out of people? To me, the first response, we can really look into our heart, our spirit, and start to redevelop this positive mindset that deep within me, my spirit is always good. So this kind of connection that we can create, really sort of detaching ourselves, removing our roots, our connection from the pain, from the suffering, from the problems, and then connecting those roots, because you can't leave those roots alone. If you let them go, let them fall back there, they're going to plant themselves back into the same problem again. So you got to remove it, you got to disconnect it, and then connect it to something much more bigger. So moving our mind away from the painful memory, freeing it, and then connecting it to the pleasant memory, to the good memories. And in that way, you can start to find the light, you can start to find the positive bliss or the joyfulness in life. So disconnecting from all the painful memories, but also connecting to the positive, to the higher, to the uplifting memories or the bliss of the life. And in beginning, it might sound like very stressful job to do, but honestly, once you start to do it, you will find yourself amazed at how much love, how much life, the energy or the joyfulness we can bring in our life. So bringing the sense of the cheerfulness and really doing everything we can do to enjoy that. One of the yogic idea, it says that health and happiness is birthright of each and every living being. Each and every living being, whoever taken the birth, it is our first birthright to be healthy and to be happy. Now, in yogic idea, please remember, for me, when yogically, when we say health, it doesn't mean that you got to be totally free from the health problems. To me, it's more of living your optimum, living your best. And now to live your best, to live your optimum or your health and happiness, next step, it tells us that you will need to do, or you got to do everything that you need to do to claim it, to earn it. Because health and happiness can never be taken for granted. You know, you tell me, we can't really expect ourselves to wake up feeling great after having a couple of bottles of wine to drink. You're going to wake up with all the side effects of it, isn't it? Or you can't tell me like, oh, let's just go and eat all the junk food and eat everything that my body doesn't like, my body is allergic to this or that, and then feel great about it. So you got to eat everything, you got to bring everything in life that helps you to develop this healthy body and healthy mind. Same for the mind. You know, what you feed into the mind, information that goes in it. What sort of books we read, what sort of people we meet with, what kind of energy we're spending around. You know, to me, it does, I can really feel it, you know, sort of when I spend my time with such a nice group of people like you all, I feel that all I can think of is some of these amazing teachings. And whenever I get caught into, you know, some of the other side of people, all they want to talk about is the depression, the tension, all that is not right into the world. And then you start to feel like, there is so much heavy energy. You know, it's like the concept of what we have, the hell and heaven. You know, either we can look into the Christianity, we can look into our Hindu ideas, any religion, there is this idea of the bliss and the pain or the suffering. I personally believe that concept is here and now in our life. It's the choice that we make or we choose to live in. To me, if you want to live in the bliss, in abundance, there is so many amazing people out there. You know, it's just like, for me, honestly, I can tell you all, it's just so nice to be sitting in front of you all, talking to you all, knowing that all the amazing care work you do. Oh, I can switch this off and I can go on totally other side of the world where, you know, in the same, so even you might see somebody in the same area where people, instead of caring each other, they are abusing, they are torturing each other. So it's sort of like, you know, can you see, actually it is my choice to be in connection with the one or the other group of people. If I connect with you all, I feel so much love. I feel this abundance of the care, the support that we can all give to each other. And that is the choice we all make, to create a circle of like-minded people. People who help you to feel positive, help you to feel this love, this gratitude that we all have. And the idea of what we call the maitri and the karuna, the friendliness and the compassion or the kindness. It is worth to learn and practice in your life to be a good friend with yourself. Please try to be a good friend of yourself and everybody else in life. And you know that one of the quality I find of the friendliness, when we are friend with somebody, when we really in this profound love, I call friendship to me is a profound love where you care for somebody, you have interest in somebody without expecting anything. You just want to see them happy, you want them to just grow or evolve. Same in the true relations are like that too. There is a profound interest in each other's health and the wellness. So he says, be friend with yourself, because the abundance that the friendly nature or the attitude brings, it makes it very easy to forgive people. You know, like so many of our friends, when you start to think, if they have ever done a mistake, all they need to do is come back to us. If they bring a card or a flower, that's a blessing. Even if they come and say, oh, I'm really sorry for what I did yesterday, we feel more love and more respect for that person. But tell you what, how many times we do that to our own self? How many times we forgive ourselves for the mistakes that they don't even matter? You know, half of the mistakes we do in life, and when you start to think, what did actually happen with it? A little bit of extra salt into the food you made, or not enough salt, a bit of too much water or not enough water. The tea wasn't just as right as you like to. The coffee, maybe you added a bit of too much coffee or not enough coffee. Honestly, half of the things that we torture ourselves for, they don't even mean anything. You know, you just went to pick a book, and it sort of happened with everyone, and then you went into your library room, and you came back and you forgot to get the book, and you get so angry and upset about it. Or you went out doing shopping and you forgot to buy one thing you really wanted to buy. Honestly, how much anger, how much sort of frustration we get out of nothing. So this idea of be friend with yourself and be kind with yourself. Learn to forgive, learn to let go. And obviously when we're talking about this forgiveness, this kindness and friendliness, we're not only practicing that to ourselves, we're also practicing that towards other people. Because it's just no point holding on to the old stuff or the old memories. Because more you hold on to them, all you're really doing is constantly and chronically annoying, irritating, agitating your brain, your feelings, your emotions, and that is also causing distress in your body. Now, even though I'm not sure how much true it is, but there are a couple of actually the spiritual healers, including our teacher, our guru, Swami Geetananda Giri. He was actually a heart surgeon and also a great yoga master. And he claims that one of the key cause of the cancer in modern life is this chronic stress, fear, guilt, anger, all these negative emotions. Because when you live in them, your brain is constantly in irritation. Now obviously that irritation affects the weakest part of your body. So that's how sort of, to me, these spiritual healers connect to you. Otherwise you think, well, if it's because of my negative thinking, it should be in my brain, not in my heart or somewhere else in my lungs. But he says it affects your weakest part of your body. Now, it's very easy to understand, and I know quite a few people, and same for me really. Before I got into the physical side of yoga, I used to get this hip pain just at the base of my hip and across my leg, because I used to play cricket. Being an Indian, you just can't help it. So I used to have lots of injuries there. So if anyone said anything upsetting to me or anything that I did not enjoy being part of, I will feel that has given up. And people, honestly, especially people with sinus, anything emotional, anything that irritates your mental well-being, your sinus is gone. People get migraine because, and you just think, wow, that's quite interesting. So when you are feeling emotionally upset, the hitting area of that emotion tend to be the weakest part of your body. It can be your neck, it can be your back, it can be your knee, it can be any part. It can be your lungs, your breathing, your respiration, your heart, your digestion. Some people just digestion is just gone out of the order. So looking at that idea really constantly, and this is, please remember, it's not a one moment practice. We have to keep doing this over and over again and again, refining the mind, picking up these negative, these distressing thoughts as and when you need. And the practice here really we can do again, whenever you're struggling with something in your mind, just sit back for a minute, close your eyes if you can, and listen your own thoughts. It's just worth to be able to watch your thoughts and see where they are coming from. And can I or do I need to remove these thoughts before they become too intense? Because your thoughts are just like the weed in the garden. If you pick up the weed, when this is just bringing the head out, it's just a soft finger you need to pick it out and let it go. If you let it grow, then you know what happens next. Especially around here into the West Wales, we have so many brambles. If you pick the bramble on the day one when it's putting the head out, it's just a 1 second job. If you let it grow for 6 months, it will need you a day, and you will have the wound here and there, all the thorns going to scratch you everywhere. So picking up these thoughts and removing them before they grow into something bigger. There is actually a really beautiful sort of practice I like to really think about into this mindfulness. It says that witness your thoughts, observe or watch your thoughts before they become a word or a fact. So don't let the negative thoughts, the negative feelings to become a sentence or to become a fact. Because if you let it go round and round and round, then what happens? It gradually becomes a fact and we believe in it. Now, if you're saying the positive, the great things, oh, I'm so happy, I'm so great, is perfectly healthy for you. As yoga, we do say, what we call these affirmations or the mantras. To me, one of the beautiful mantra can be as simple as, my life is great. Or you say, my life, me and my energy, they all are taking me to my goal or to my destination where I want to be. Now, if you keep repeating it, you are creating that energy, you are creating that intention that brings that joy or brings that bliss in your life. If you got into the negative one, oh, I just remembered a really nice story actually. I thought maybe I share to give you a bit of understanding. It's an Indian story, and I think there is some sort of similar story I have read somewhere in the Bible. I can't remember exactly where, but some of you might remember it. Anyway, in our Indian story, we call this beautiful tree that is known as the kalpa rexel. So the kalpa rexel is the tree that grants all your wishes. Now here to me, this tree we're talking about is your mind, because your mind grants all your wishes. Whatever you think, it brings that into your experience. So let's say if I'm just sitting and thinking, I'm so happy, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. If you repeat it several times, what your brain does, your brain responds to it, and to respond to it, what your brain will have to do, it will have to release those endomorphins, these feel-good biochemicals, to make you feel your body, I'm good. If you say I'm stressed, then your body releases the oxytocin or the opposite hormones that make you feel stressed. So your body responds to your mind or your brain. So then your mind becomes the blissful or the miserable aspect of our existence, depending on what we're feeding into. So anyway, this guy, he was on a long journey, and after a long day, he was very tired and he could not find anywhere to stay, and he did not have any food to eat. But he was so tired that he lay down and under this beautiful, this amazing tree. And he put his head against its root and lying there and thinking, it will be actually nice to get something nice to eat. Because, when you not have something, that's all we think, isn't it? Like, so he started to think, it will be so nice to get all these amazing, yummy dishes that I love to eat. The minute he thought, everything appeared in front of him. And when you're hungry and you get something to eat, I believe we don't really think, we just eat and eat and eat. It's quite amazing. So at that point, he just ate and ate and ate. And he was so pleased. Now the next thing, the minute he finished eating, then he started to think like, oh, I had such a good meal, but it's the afternoon, it's such a, I'm quite tired. It'd be nice to have a drink. And he was thinking about all these nice bottles of wine and whatever he wanted to drink, all these alcoholic drinks. Or the minute he's thinking of that, again, everything appeared. And when you get to drink what you like to drink, again, we forget about everything. You spend a good few hours drinking, drinking and drinking. And then he thought, well, I think I had enough of drink and all that. It would be nice to have a comfortable bed and a nice warm blanket or something, maybe a tent or something. So I can just have a good sleep and hopefully I will find my journey, my destination tomorrow where I need to go next. All that appeared and he lay down. Now the minute he lay down, he started to think, what if I have a nightmare? And he said, because he is, some people do have this tendency, so he must have nightmares in his life. And he started to worry, oh, I want to have a sleep, but I don't want to wake up having the nightmare where I'm out into the wild. Or the minute he thought, he falls asleep and he's starting to have all these nightmares. Now the next thought he gets is in the nightmare, I don't want the ghosts or the tigers and the lions, all these animals and the wild spirits to come near me and hurt me. The minute he thought, everything came and he started to hurt me. His next thought was, hopefully they're not going to kill me. I wish they don't kill me. And the minute he said kill him, they killed him. Now the story here that he was lying under this kalpa tree, the tree that grants all your wishes. Now to me, mystically or in a spiritual sense, the key teaching, the moral of the story really is, whatever you're thinking in your mind, you're projecting it outward and you're manifesting it. And as even the neuroscience these days says, your body is one of the most amazing biochemical factory that exists in our universe. And it can produce anything you like to experience. You just need to think it properly. You need to think it strong enough. So honestly, in that way, you don't have to spend any money on, if you like, drugs or all that. All you need to do is create the right sort of mindset and put it strong enough in your brain that I like to feel this sense of hallucination. And I definitely had some experience when I was used to be with some of these sadhus in India. Like, you can easily get into that experience. But here, anyway, my point here to really for us all to, if you are creating a positive, happy and uplifted mindset, your body vibrates with it, your body resonates with it. If you're creating a downgrading and heavy thoughts and negative attitude, negative feeling, your body falls with it. Now I'm sure, people who work into the medical science, they can easily sort of talk about it, that how biochemically our body is different in different feelings and emotions. What flows into your blood, what flows into your heart, your breath, all that changes. So I can conclude this lesson really with the key practices. Find this sense or attitude of friendliness from within. Learn to love yourself. Learn to be appreciative and grateful for everything that you're doing. To me, the gratitude is really one of the key idea, the key practice that can really lead you into a sense of abundance. And then find every reason to be happy and to be joyful about. And again, I must say, you all are doing truly amazing work. Keep doing it, and the universe, the divine somewhere from up looking at you and feeling quite glad that to me, when I look at people who are doing such an amazing work, I feel we all are in a good place.